What's going on there, YouTube? This is SCL0320. I am literally just getting back from, oh my gosh, such an epically awesome movie in Furious 7. It was crazy, y'all. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. Tomorrow I'm going to be watching it again with some more friends, and I'm going to have a full in-depth spoiler extravaganza on this whole entire thing. But this one is just going to be dedicated to just those that hasn't seen it yet. And most people are probably not going to see it till tomorrow, so I'm going to keep it exclusive. But I'll go ahead and go off of how I normally do this. So the movie is basically, it's a sequel to not just Fast and Furious 6, but it really takes place right after Tokyo Drift. The events that happened in 6 with Owen Shaw, those propel another main character and the big brother of Shaw that you find out at the end of 6 that he was the one that actually played Han, and Han was the one that was the casualty from him basically knocking him over and not him flipping over and then him blowing up the car. And then that's how it ended with the 6th one, and then it made more sense that how Tokyo Drift was surrounded by everything that kind of happened. But what was so interesting about this one was that it paid homage to everything that the franchise has brought, from the subtle, like the first scenes that happen. It takes place. It's a location that if you've looked at the very first movie and where they were at, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When they go and they meet certain people from different movies, they pop up. Like, there's so many people in this one, I could not even imagine them going to these depths of doing this. And then more than anything, they pay an excellent homage to the legacy of Brian Spellner, or Paul Walker's character, the late great Paul Walker. And I can tell that when they were actually making it, that the story arc shifted based on him not being there, because they had to do a certain kind of way of a send-off. But how they execute it, I can say before I go into this review, they do it amazingly. They do it amazingly. And not just that, I know that his brothers had a hand in actually helping out with the scenes, and they did a CG layer over him. The CG was seamless. Like, you can see it and you can tell it, but how they do the voice, there are times where I don't know when it's Paul and I don't know when it's like his brothers, and that in itself is an accomplishment. Anyway, so going into the synopsis for this one, the way that the synopsis reads is, hopefully IMDb does not give too much away. Dominic Torretto and his crew thought they left the criminal mercenary life behind. They defeated an international terrorist named Owen Shaw and went on a separate ways, but by now Shaw's brother, Deckard Shaw, is now taking vengeance upon them one by one. So the set pieces, where they go, when they go to Saudi Arabia, where they go to California, where they go to LA, where they go to Tokyo, like, they spare no expenses to the locations. I think that the Saudi Arabian shot, when they have the cars actually going out, now why they're in Saudi Arabia, I can't explain why, but there are cars there that I've never seen before. The set pieces on a grand scale is some of the best action pieces and implementations of action with cars that I've ever seen. I mean, it's not just that. Like, there are other things that kind of happen, because there's a chasing through the woods with cars. There is there is a how do I say it without spoiling anything? Let's just say that Dominic is put in the most amazingly crazy situation, and he brings his whole entire group with it. And if you've looked at the trailers, you know what I'm talking about. To see cars in the air, like, it just goes crazy. Like, the CG is awesome, the action is awesome. I think that the choreography, as far as the fight sequences, I think that James Wan, like, he's known for most of the scary movies. The way he implemented, like, the action sequences, they were executed very well, especially with The Rock, especially with Jason Statham, especially with Vin Diesel. But there are times where it kind of pulls away from the camera, and it's kind of like a slow motion riff to it. I didn't have a real problem with it, but I can know a lot of people that are probably like, man, I want to actually really just see them fight head on. Like how they did with Fast Five with The Rock and Vin Diesel, you just saw it the whole entire time. And with this one, like there are times where it kind of pulls away from the camera, which it can be a little strange, but I liked it for what it does. This is a really different movie because it implements a lot from all the different other movies, and it's things that you don't know that surprise you in it. But anyway, as far as the imagery, the visual effects, and even the soundtrack worked really well for the scenes where we're touching scenes with Paul Walker and Brian's character, the scenes where there's an action place moment, or the scenes when something terrible happens. Like they choose the right kind of music for it. It's sometimes upbeat, up-tempo hip-hop, sometimes it's just straight a classic kind of theme to it, and it was done really well. I really enjoyed how they actually did it. What else? There was something else that happened. The fight, there's a fight that happens, it's a female fight, and it's unlike any female fight I've seen. I think that it rivals Cookie and Anika's fight in Season Finale of Empire. Like, it's really awesome, and it encompasses Michelle Rodriguez and Rosie Ramsey from UFC. Is a really awesome fight. But anyway, as far as the CG, as far as the music is concerned, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. It was really well done. As far as the acting in this one was not a spectacle for as far as the acting is concerned, more so than showmanship, respect, especially with the centering of Paul Walker's character. And I can tell, if anything, there's a heavy weight that you can kind of feel in the presence of everybody that's acting, especially from the beginning to the end. Like there are certain scenes where actually Paul Walker is acting in them, and especially there's a scene at a funeral when I think Tyrese Gibson's character is like, "Man, Brian, I can't take any more funerals. Promise me no more funerals." And Brian kind of states subtly, "One more," and that's not foreshadowing. It wasn't prophetic or anything like that, but it's just, it adds more weight to it, to the fact that they kept a scene like that in it, and it was rightfully so. I mean, don't diminish any scenes that he had. That was one of the things they wanted to keep. And I mean, Paul Walker does a great job in this one because he's at a precipice in his line of trying to figure out what to do with his lifestyle and who he is, you know. And it's executed really well, really seamlessly, and they don't diminish that in any kind of way, even though his presence was not there all the time. Even like Vin Diesel's character in this one, because I think him and Letty's relationship with him and Michelle Rodriguez, that was one of the other centerpieces of this. This is all really centered around family. I mean, of course, Tyrese Gibson and Ludacris are acting the fool in this one, as they normally do, which is just hilarious. But as far as like great acting and all this kind of different stuff that happens, no, this is not a movie for just action-generated things, but it's more like showmanship. When you have somebody like Kurt Russell, who is Snake Plissken himself, like Stargate. I mean, when his presence is there, it's kind of like a Bruce Willis kind of feel to it, and it's really awesome. It's really awesome how he's into this one. But Jason Statham, his character from the jump, like, you are afraid of this man, and the first person he goes on like a brawl with is The Rock, and I was like, his presence there was just really well done. I mean, it's not overshadowing acting or anything like that. It's just his presence there was really well needed, and they needed somebody that like they could go up against. And not just that, there's more to it than just that, but I can't reveal it. I'll reveal it more in the spoiler section. So as far as the acting is concerned, it's more so geared towards stage presence. So I give it maybe like a 7 out of 10. It wasn't generated for acting, but what they did and how they implemented it was really well done. As far as the story is concerned, I love the story, because the reason why I love the story is I've kept up with it from day one. I've looked at the first, second, third, Tokyo Drift, all the different ones, and this is what brings everything full circle. Now, what I feel like is that the story was kind of cut in half because of the execution of how they had to lead out with Brian's character, but how they brought other people into the mix, such as Kurt Russell's character, such as Jason Statham's character, such as Hobbs on different levels. They surprised me in the story, and that's the thing that I didn't expect. I didn't expect to have like something surprising me. I was just looking for a great ride. And I mean, there was never a point that I was like, man, this is a demasculating moment. Like, man, this is too like long-winded, or this is a too long a movie. Like, I was thrilled and entertained from start to finish. If I wasn't laughing, then I was like, what? Or if I wasn't like, this is impossible, to like, wow, that was a really awesome scene. And it was a really touching scene, you know? And that's how I felt most of the entire movie. And I think that having Jason Statham be the one that's like chasing them and like testing them, like, it's not just about like them racing anymore. Like, Jason Statham's character in this one, he's fast with cars, and he's deadlier than anything they'd rather come up against, and he's targeting them specifically, strategically. And some of the things that he does to them, it really just kind of blew my mind. And I think that with Dom's character, he's always been the one to protecting family. And if you cross his family, you cross him. And you don't want to cross him, you know what I'm saying? But it all goes to overhead when they basically have to kind of split up and reforge with people that they wouldn't expect. And it's just a great ride. It's just a great ride. I can't spoil too much. It's people that I want to talk about. There's characters I want to talk about. There's plot points I want to talk about. But if I reveal them, I can't. All I can say is I will talk about the tribute scene. And the tribute scene is not what you think it's going to be. But it is so touching and it's so beautiful. And like, God rest your soul, Paul Walker. R.I.P. Blessings upon your family. I pray that the movie is very profitable so that you and your family can be... I'm really sure that with Vin Diesel at the helm of how this is going to be done, like, there's going to be a pushback for his family. And I mean, it was a perfect send-off. But even then, like, the scenes that they have Paul Walker in, and the scenes that he actually shot, they were so seamless and they were so needed, because it was every single second that everybody up there, they were in jeopardy. And it wasn't just because of Owen Shaw's brother. It was because of the things and the people that they had crossed. Like, they didn't just cross him, they crossed some other people that, like, Russell Crowe's character is like, you have no idea what you're in now. You know, like, it's not just about protecting family, it's more than that. And so it's really awesome. And then there's a new character by the name of Ramsey, and she's really interesting character. But that's all I can really kind of say without spoiling too much. I really enjoyed the movie. I really highly recommend you go and check it out. Don't go into it thinking and then comparing it. Is it going to be more action or better action than 6? Is it going to be a better storyline than 5? Don't go into it like that. Just think about what the first Fast and Furious made you think about, which was fast cars, thrills, and think about how epic of a time that Fast 5 was based on what happened and coming back from what happened to Letty. And then think about 6, where everything was brought full together with what these people are really capable of. That's the culmination of what this movie is about. I think it's not as intense as 5 and 6 on different levels as far as the action, but then there's a lot of times that it is. So it is a really great send-off, a really great movie. I'm looking forward to them making more, but definitely go and check it out. And this is my review for Furious 7. If you like this review, please leave a like below. If you have any comments, if you've seen it already, please don't put any spoilers if you can. But definitely go and let me know if you're going to go check it out today, tomorrow, tonight, or whatever you're going to do. And Furious 7, baby. It was a hit. Look for it this weekend, y'all. Later, everybody.